About the images we've seen coming from across the nation over the past 2 or 3 weeks in big states like Florida, Texas, and others. We've seen bars that are open. We've seen people who are choosing to not wear masks, but even political rallies, churches. Well, health experts have told us for a long time that we are very vulnerable to this disease because we don't have any immunity to it. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that as we see the nation reopening and people coming out and actually not taking these precautions, we'll see an increase in cases. Well, we are seeing a dramatic increase in cases. These health experts are saying this moment has come.
You are now seeing a disturbing surge of infections.
In fact, we are now witnessing the highest number of new infections in the United States since April. In Houston, the city's ICU beds are at 97% capacity, according to the city's mayor. And CBS News has learned if the pace continues, Houston's largest medical facility will run out of ICU space in just 4 days. Texas, one of the earliest states to reopen, even though cases were on the rise, is now prompting a much different tone from Republican Governor Greg Abbott.
So we'll tell you that there is a massive outbreak of COVID-19 across the state of Texas.
Florida set another daily record for new COVID-19 cases, 5,500. A surge of new patients caused Homestead Hospital, south of Miami, to reach capacity Tuesday and redirect patients to other hospitals. In Arizona, ICU beds were nearly 90% full, and the number of COVID patients on ventilators hit a record high. And yet, according to the Washington Post, the federal government is poised to stop providing federal aid to testing sites in some of the hardest hit states, including Texas. Yesterday, the president said he wasn't kidding when he told supporters at a rally in Oklahoma he would like to slow the testing down.
I don't kid. By having more tests, we find more cases.
President Trump has said it is the governor's responsibility to set policies to protect their citizens, but the president himself is not always willing to abide by those policies. At a packed rally in Phoenix yesterday, with no social distancing in sight, the president encouraged supporters not to wear masks, even though on the same day the city passed a resolution requiring masks in public. And tomorrow he is expected to travel to New Jersey, the state with the new travel advisory, even though he just left Arizona, where the coronavirus is spiking. Today, the president had little to say about the stunning coronavirus spikes that are sending parts of the nation back into the darkest days of the pandemic. But the president did promise that an effective vaccine will arrive
Sooner than anybody would think.
And as the coronavirus cases rise dramatically, it's also worth noting that the president's poll numbers are sinking. In fact, latest poll shows the president trailing former Vice President Joe Biden by 14 points, and 6 out of 10 voters disapprove of the way he is handling the pandemic.